Good, happy Monday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your Monday evening edition of WRMK News 12 Evening Newscast. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, Nashua man charged with assault in connection with boys' injuries. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
This man, 25-year-old Jose Gurley of Nashua, is facing first-degree assault charges in connection to injuring a 4-year-old boy. The alleged crime happened here on Myrtle Street in Nashua. According to Nashua, police officers responded to a medical emergency on January 19th, where a boy had sustained serious head and facial injuries.
After the detectives determined that Mr. Gurley was involved, they applied for an arrest warrant for him, and he had fled to Maine in that time frame. Then the detectives had to coordinate with the Maine State Police.
Gurley, the boyfriend of the boy's mother, was arrested on Friday in Cornish, Maine, and is accused of first-degree assault. He's in a York County jail and is awaiting a hearing on extradition to New Hampshire.
Once he waives extradition, he'll be brought back to the Nashville Police Department, where he'll be formally charged here, and then he will be given a court date and arraignment in front of a judge, in front of a New Hampshire judge.
First-degree assault is a Class A felony that carries up to 15 years in jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Nashua Police saying crimes to children go straight to their Special Investigations Division.
Unfortunately, there's a number of crimes against juveniles, and to have people that just specialize in that is very important.
The 4-year-old boy spent several days at Mass General. Nashua Police saying he is expected to make a full recovery, and they tell us DCYF is now involved in the case.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Holloway sentenced to 40 years to life in prison for church shooting. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
The defendant's chair sits empty inside Hillsborough County Superior Court for the sentencing of Dale Holloway. The 41-year-old refused transportation from the House of Corrections, instead opting to be sentenced in absentia. It was in October of 2019 when Holloway walked into the New England Pentecostal Ministries in Pelham and shot Bishop Stanley Choate in the chest while he was presiding over a wedding. Choate, who was 75 at the time, spent months recovering in the hospital.
As you can see, even though my ability to walk has been impaired.
Bishop Choate says he also suffers from the emotional impacts of that day.
After the shooting, and I know I'm ahead of myself, how I was fearful going to the church.
Claire McMullen told the judge she too lived in fear following the shooting. It was her wedding day. She was shot in the arm.
The physical impact left me disabled. The bullet that went through my right arm caused nerve damage, affected my dominant hand.
As for Holloway, he received a sentence of 40 years to life for an attempted murder charge, as well as two 10 to 30-year sentences for charges of first-degree assault and felon in possession. Now, Dale Holloway is already spending time in prison for assaulting his original attorney in this case. Today, the judge spoke to the victims, telling them that he hopes this sentence will bring them some peace. Reporting live in Nashua, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Former pilot says crew hatch door might have fallen off plane during departure. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Well, that former pilot is now a professor of aviation at Southern New Hampshire University. And he says he has an idea of what could have gone wrong midair because he used to fly a similar plane on the very same route. Wiggins Airways carries cargo from one location to another. Professor Dominic LaFosse used to work for them for about a year and says typically it is best to wait for the FAA or NTSB report. But after following the crash, he thinks the problem surrounds the crew hatch door. That's the door pilots use to get into the cockpit once the plane is loaded with its cargo, and says it can be tricky to make sure it's secure once closed. That door is the door that was found in a Manchester neighborhood, and LaFosse says based on where it's found, he thinks it fell off during the plane's departure. And without the door, he says it would be a very disorienting situation for the pilot, with wind whipping inside the cockpit as he tried to assess the emergency, and it would not be an easy fix midair.
Whether as from the initial shock of losing that door or just the conditions he was flying in, which were fairly difficult to fly in that day, we noticed that first abrupt turn he made towards the airport, followed by multiple climbs and descents and a loss of speed. It's very likely that spatial disorientation had a play in this incident.
And the NTSB and FAA are still investigating the crash. We're live in Londonderry. Kelly O'Brien, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Yes, you can file your taxes for free. Let's take a listen to this report from Verify.
With the new Domino's Rewards, you earn free Domino's after every 2 orders. It's as easy as 1, 2, free.
We're all looking to save money on taxes, including when we file them. Many companies say they offer free filings, but people on social media have complained that services advertised as free don't always turn out that way by the time they go to submit. So, let's verify. Can you file your federal income taxes for free? Our sources are the Free File Alliance, the Internal Revenue Service, AARP, and Cash App. The short answer is yes, but it gets more complicated if your household's adjusted gross income is more than $79,000. If you earn less than that, then you can file for free through Free File, a partnership between the IRS and tax software companies. But you must click through the IRS's website to get the fees waived. If you earn more than $79,000, have a simple tax return, and live in one of these 12 states, then you can use the IRS's new Direct File pilot program, which lets you file directly with the IRS for free. Or everyone can e-file tax forms on the IRS's website without the support of software to help with the calculations. If math isn't your thing, then seniors can use free programs from AARP or the IRS to do their taxes. And Cash App Taxes allows many people to use their software for free. So yes, most people can file their federal taxes for free, if you're willing to jump through a few hoops. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Former UN Ambassador.
Sorry about that. And there you go on that report. And by the way, today, tax season kicked off. Biden senators on verge of striking bipartisan immigration deal. Let's take a listen to that report from CBS News.
Turning now to the fight over the U.S. southern border. After months of negotiations, we may finally be close to a deal in the Senate. Now, here's something we don't see often. It's got support from Republicans and Democrats, including President Biden. But former President Trump does not like it. Scott McFarland is on Capitol Hill with what that could mean for the fragile deal. Scott, good morning.
Nate, good morning. Even the negotiators acknowledge they're running short on time, eager to unveil an agreement that makes changes at the southern border and provides billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine. But now, presidential politics are at play. For months, the southern border has been the focus of closed-door negotiations on Capitol Hill. This week, a deal could finally be announced. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent, people just want a secure border. Campaigning in South Carolina this weekend, President Biden championed the U.S. Senate's attempts to tighten border security law.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
CBS News has learned negotiators have talked about giving the president new power to halt border crossings when they surpass a certain threshold, raising the standard to accept asylum seekers while shortening the time of legal review for their cases, and restricting the use of the Immigration Parole Authority. But in Nevada on Saturday, former President Donald Trump asked his Republican allies to block the potential compromise, which would deprive President Biden of an accomplishment.
I said, that's okay. Please blame it on me. Please. Because they were getting ready to pass a very bad bill.
I am hopeful that we will still have enough Republicans in the Senate who want to fix the problem at the border rather than just do Donald Trump's bidding.
But House Speaker Mike Johnson has warned the plan could be dead on arrival in the Republican-controlled House. And Trump supporters in Congress say the White House already has the powers it needs.
My position is he has every tool at his disposal right now to secure the border. They're just the party of open borders now. That's the problem.
This weekend, House Republicans released articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, alleging Mayorkas has failed to follow immigration law and has breached the public's trust. Democrats in the White House respond, calling it a political ploy, a waste of time, and arguing, Tony, that Republicans want to campaign on immigration issues rather than fix them.
Scott, thank you very much.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into your weather. And here is meteorologist Mike Haddad with a full weather forecast.
Thank you very much for joining us, Stormwatch 9 Weather on the Web, looking ahead for a change. Storm-free weather, at least for now, through the upcoming weekend into the start of next week. Now, that doesn't mean it's precipitation-free. Could be some flurries this evening, a couple of snow or mixed showers by the end of the week, but squeezed in between now and then, back to sun in many spots Tuesday and on Wednesday. In terms of travel impacts, relatively low tonight into Tuesday morning. Why is it low and not none? Well, there'll be some black ice forming on any untreated road or driveway or walkway tonight as temperatures fall well below freezing. Of course, after the snow melt today, that means anything damp will quickly tend to ice over. Otherwise, no impacts due to weather Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday and Wednesday night. By Thursday and Friday, the next front, not storm, but a front with scattered showers will approach. Snow showers north and mixed or rain showers farther to the south. At least for now, in the short term, focus is on a cool down, a little bit below average for the day tomorrow, but not unseasonable by any stretch. And overnight tonight, watch out again for some ice on untreated surfaces. Temperatures are going to crash all the way back into the single digits north and the teens to near 20 far south. Tomorrow, bright skies for a change. Winds not all that bad. Upper 20s to around 30. I think we'll see a bit warmer air move in for Wednesday afternoon after a very cold start to the day. But by afternoon, low to mid 30s north, upper 30s to around 40 in southern New Hampshire. Let's look ahead to the end of the week. After a dry and sunny Wednesday, the next front darts in from southern parts of Canada, and that will trigger some snow showers up north anytime after the mid-morning. So late morning and afternoon could be a light accumulation in the White Mountains and the Great North Woods. Farther south, we're up around 40, so that could mean a mixed or rain shower by the late part of the day. Same front swings offshore on Friday, so could be a lingering sprinkle or light shower south. Few more flurries darting through up north as the winds begin to freshen out of the northwest, and that will drag in some colder air for the first weekend of February. Speaking of which, after Groundhog Day, temperatures head lower below freezing on Saturday, even a bit colder but lots of sun on Sunday, and bright and chilly on Monday.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast for meteorologist Mike Haddad. Thank you for that, Mike. And let's go into your sports now. In sports, the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens, they had a game yesterday, afternoon-ish. And the final score of that game was Kansas City Chiefs 17 and Baltimore Ravens 10. And Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers, they had a game last night, and the final score of that game was San Francisco 49ers 34 and Detroit Lions 31. San Francisco won the game last night. Congratulations, San Francisco. And Super Bowl 58 is set. The Chiefs and 49ers will meet in Las Vegas. And Celtics, they play tonight at 7:30 p.m. at the TD Garden in Boston against New Orleans. Let's go Celtics. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. And that is your sports report right here on WRMK News 12. And that does it for this evening edition of your evening newscast. Thank you for tuning in and watching, and have a great evening, good night, and goodbye.